What's good? How y'all doing out there? Love is love. Happy Saturday. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Just got off of work not too long ago, waiting for my boy. You know what I'm saying? Chop it up a little bit before I head in the crib. Just figure I'd come on live real quick. Talk a little bit about that Diddy documentary. Um, it was very interesting. I want you guys to check out the interview I did with Mark Curry on my YouTube channel. Um, you can definitely check it out. It's a good interview. It's about an hour and change. He's on the Netflix documentary series that 50 Cent is a part of on Netflix. Mark Curry he is a former Bad Boy artist, so you can check that interview out on my YouTube channel, on this channel. Okay, it's a very good interview. Come to find out, he's from Harlem. Um, Shout out to Roger Bonds. He was on that live. Well, he wasn't on the actual live, but he was in the comments. Shout out to him. Like I just said, shout out to Mark Curry. I want y'all to go cop his book. He has a book out, Dancing with the Devil. Go check that out on his Instagram page. You'll see the link in his bio. And I'm gonna do a part 2 with Mark Curry. We're gonna be chopping it up. Of course, post. We're gonna be chopping it up. In reference to the Netflix series, and see everything he got going on, and talk about some of the things that was mentioned in the documentary that was released through Netflix. So the documentary called The Reckoning was good. Me personally, I think it was a good documentary. A lot of things were brought up and mentioned in the yo, what's good, man. A lot of things were brought up in this documentary that I didn't know about, that I did not know about, or whatever. Some of the things are coming back as not true. Like they said that Biggie paid for his funeral, and the estate, you know what I'm saying, that represents Biggie, they're saying that no, it's not true. Bad Boy Records paid for that funeral, right? But we're not here to talk about who paid for the funeral, who didn't pay for the funeral, who did this, who did whatever. Like, we're here to talk about the character of Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how he was raised, how he was brought up, and I think that's the point that people are missing from this documentary. Like, they're failing to realize that Diddy was brought up in we're not gonna say an unstable lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? But he was brought up in a lifestyle that some of us can kind of relate to. You know, he was the center of attraction in his household. And his mother knew that, allegedly, and he would be put in situations where he would have to perform or dance in front of adults, and that could be kind of triggering, and that could seem a little bit uncomfortable for a young boy. um, I don't think Kirk Burrows mentioned that in the interview that he did, for Netflix, as if, did they feel uncomfortable? Did they feel like they were doing things they didn't want to do? Did they want to dance? You know, um, so that, I hope people realize that there's a possibility that Diddy could have a mental illness. Watching that, I watched the last 2 episodes again today at work, and you know, it looks like he has some demons that he's trying to fight, that he was trying to fight. And he wasn't even fighting them. It doesn't really like he was fighting his demons. It's just like he the way he is, his behavior. You understand what I'm saying? He felt untouchable. He felt superhuman. He felt even the way he treated his kids. He treats his kids. Justin, you know, um, seeing his son, pick up his blunt and do all, like, when it was just a number. It's just the relationship, the vibe that you can see of how he is around his children and the people that he's around. Like, I felt like, his kids felt like they looked like they was employees to me. You understand what I'm saying? The type of vibe, that I saw. You know what I mean? And, you can have whatever kind of relationship you want with your children. You know what I'm saying? If you want to raise them to work for you, to work in your business, they gotta, they have to carry themselves like an employee, or they have to carry themselves a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But I really hope that Diddy gets some help while he is incarcerated. That he's able to, meet with a counselor. Got my heat on. See a counselor, what have you. But okay, and the flip side is that a lot of us can relate to where Diddy is at mentally. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we have that thing in us where we feel like unstoppable, or we feel like nothing can stop us, nothing can keep us down, can keep us, can get us out of our hustle, out of our mode, and a large part of that's one of the main reasons why he's in the situation he is in right now. Because when you feel like you can't be stopped, when you feel like nobody can keep you from nobody could, like, it can happen. It could happen. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to everybody, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all watch the shorts or whatever. I probably won't share this live or whatever because, of the lighting and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely, I'm gonna leave it on here for a little while. But yeah, man, it was definitely a good. It was well put together. It was well put together. Yeah, I must say that. It was a lot of people I think that should have been in it, but they wasn't. I wonder why Cassie wasn't in that. Out of all people, I really wonder why Cassie wasn't in that documentary. I don't know if it had anything to do with the NDA. I'm pretty sure she signed something in reference to receiving the money and all different things, with the whole lawsuit that she had with Diddy, but I'm surprised I didn't see her. I'm surprised I didn't see Cassie. I'm surprised I didn't see who else. Yeah, it looks like the people that were in that I was gonna say it looked like the people that was in that documentary were against Diddy, but the girl who was part of Dirty Money, because she knows she got away with a $30 million heist. Yeah, man. Cassie, she was paid a lot of money, man, and that money was to be quiet. That's what you call hush money. You know what I'm saying? Not to tell her story. Not to tell her story. I'm pretty sure, man, that woman, she probably got stories for days, B. And she got stories for days, B. She got stories for days. For real. But I'm almost sure Diddy has some type of mental health illness, and he needs to get checked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has this ego, this alter ego that really needs to get checked out about. I'm glad. That's why, man, I hope while he's in jail he realizes that jail was probably the best thing for him, because if he if he was able to beat this case, if he was able to not receive any time, or this never happened or whatever, Lord knows what road he would have went down, or how worse it could have been. You know what I'm saying? And that all goes to say, like, sometimes you just can't always look, even though something bad happened in your life, you can't look at it as, oh, it's a bad thing. It's a totally bad thing. You got to be able to take something positive out of things that happen that might not, be the way, that might not seem great to you or good to you. You know what I mean? But, big Harlem, man. Harlem, you know what I mean? Everybody, they got Loaded Lux. He has a situation today in Harlem, at Harlem Sanctuary. I think it's Easy to Block Captain versus Cassidy. That's, Cassidy from Philly. Easy to Block is from Philly. That's the guy that Remy Martin used to date. I don't know if she's dating him anymore, but they're supposed to be battling today at Harlem Sanctuary. I believe Jab Uno from IG, I believe that might be a spot that he manages. Shout out to him. Shout out to Same Gang. I'm surprised Gene Deal wasn't on the documentary. Somebody like Gene Deal should have been on that documentary. I don't know why they didn't reach out. It was a couple of people that was, well, you have Roger Barnes, you have Mark Curry, you know what I'm saying? But Gene Deal should have been on that. Gene Deal been talking about Diddy for years. For years. I do not know why he wasn't on that joint. You know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes some of these stories is best to keep them to yourself. You know what I mean? Because some of it loses value. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes some stories is best to keep to yourself, Rest in peace to Al Poe. I think I'm going to watch the first 2 episodes over again and take some more notes, because I see a lot of people who do the lives on here, or they're doing videos on that situation, and they're not, they're not going, they didn't take any notes. So that's why I just came on here, just to tap in with you guys, because I haven't done it in reference to this documentary since it dropped. So I was like, let me get on here, chop it up with you guys a little bit. I just got off of work, just did a double on my day off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely beat. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm gonna give me some rest tomorrow. Don't really have any real obligations or nothing like that. So yeah, love is love, man. Love is love, y'all. Love is love. A lot of people was mentioned in that documentary. What really stood out to me was when they were trying to align Diddy with the Tupac murder, and they was just saying how Diddy was he was cool with Keefe D, but he was introduced to Keefe D through a brother named Von Zip. And Von Zip is from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And they were saying how Von Zip was like Puff's uncle type. Like he played like an uncle role of Puff. I missed this message. Yeah, I didn't catch that message. I didn't catch that message just now. Future Films, put that message again in the chat. Yeah, missed that message. Messages all chat messages available. Yeah, so Von Zip, rest in peace. He was well-known brother in Harlem. He owned the Zip Code Club in Harlem, and in the documentary, he was introduced as someone who was like Puff's uncle. You know what I mean? I don't know if he knew Puff's father. Puff's father was a hustler back in the days. May he rest in peace also. He was murdered not too far from Central Park. But yeah, Vaughn, he had some connections in Los Angeles, you know what I mean? And allegedly, they're trying to say that he had something to do with working, dealing with Puff and Keefy D or whatever the case is. So it's like it's just sad that people's names are mentioned, in these lights, in these negative lights. Um, Vaughn, he was he was really close with Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? I believe Mike Tyson is the godfather to his children. You know what I'm saying? It was also a brother, rest in peace, the name of Puerto Rican Jesus, who was also cool with Mike Tyson and, the Von Zips and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like people have to realize, like, there was some really honorable men back in the days in Harlem, man. Mr. Zip, good man, serious brother, but always treated me well. Okay. Yeah, see, so, you know what I mean? Like the brother Future just said, like, he knew Zip, he knew Vaughn, you know what I mean? And he was a good dude, you know what I'm saying? Honorable guy. I personally never met him. I went into his club one time. It was a club in Harlem called Zip Code. It was on, Future probably could correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it was on 127th or 126th and 7th Avenue. And that club was fire, B. That club was fire. Now, I don't know what, I was watching a documentary and they were saying how him and Diddy had some issues right before he passed, or, while he had that club or whatever. But, nah, B, I went to that club a couple times, man. And that club was fire. I think I ate there one time. They used to have a lot of parties there. 7-5, yeah. There used to be a lot of parties in there, man. Dipset would be up in there. You know what I'm saying? Jim Jones, Cam. You know what I mean? Everybody who was anybody was always in that club. People would pull up with their cars and all that stuff. I probably seen Von Zip once or twice, but just didn't know what he did or what he was about or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? I was a really young scrappy around that time. But everybody and their mother wanted to get into that club back in the days, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, people knew what it was. Mike Tyson used to be up in there. Like, it was official tissue. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Real talk. And it looks like Vaughn was it looks like he was the people's champ. He was the mayor. You know what I'm saying? He was the mayor of Harlem. You know what I mean? Every time I hear about this guy, it's something good. It's something honorable, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to put a block in Harlem after that dude, man. Everyone was there, and Mr. Zip used to make cats take off that. Wow, that's crazy. So he would make everybody take off their hats except his crew. Well, hey, listen, man, like, yo, that's ill. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is, though. It's like when you go in somebody's house, right? Take off your shoes. But the person who lived there, they can keep their shoes on. Why? Because it's their house. You know what I'm saying? Or their wife can keep their shoes on. Why? Because it's their house. Same with their kids. Same with their brother or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's my brother. He keep his shoes on. But you got to take your shoes off, man. Take your shoes off. So, he's an honorable guy. You know what I'm saying? And it sounded like he had a lot of old morals, he went by a lot of old rules and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, people, they respected him. They respected him. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the untold stories about, you know what I'm saying, cats in Harlem that some of y'all might not know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we all got love for Rich. We all got love for Poe. You know what I'm saying? We all got love for some of the other cats that's around. You know what I mean? But it was really some honorable men out there, you know what I'm saying, who's around. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how. I feel like he was like I I don't know how old Vaughn was when he passed, man, but he was around for a little minute, for a good minute. You know what I'm saying? Going too soon. Moreover, what I'm saying, he left an imprint in Harlem that, that's unmatched. You know what I'm saying? That's unmatched. It's a lot, like I said, it's a lot of honorable men from Harlem, you know what I'm saying, especially dudes that came up, you know what I'm saying? Honorable dudes. You know what I mean? That stand-up guys who talk, who speak life, you know what I'm saying, who talk that wisdom, that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And Vaughn Zip was one of those guys. You know what I mean? I talk to brothers who vouch and say, yo, man, he took me under his wing. You know what I mean? He took me under his wing, and he was there like a big brother. You know? And we need people like that. You know what I'm saying? The streets, they need people like that. It's sad that he's not here because he would probably be somebody that would be able to, set some of these records straight. So some of these young boys, they don't have nobody to look up to in the streets. You know what I'm saying? They OGs is out here trying to be YNs and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So dudes like that, dudes like Vaughn, man, you know what I mean? Like even it was OG cat from Uptown named Van from 55th. You know what I'm saying? He was you know what I mean? He did what he did. You know what I mean? Moreover, he was so honorable, man. He owned a barbershop in Harlem or 155th. You know what I'm saying? He always used to show me love, man. Always show me love. You know what I'm saying? I will always show him love every time I saw him. You know what I'm saying? These are people that were like, that were honorable men in Harlem, that people respected. You know what I'm saying? People respect it. And that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Respect, honor. You're not perfect. We don't judge. We don't judge on this side, man. Yeah, Fat Van. Fat Van. You know what I'm saying? These are people who like, people in the neighborhood, the most thugged out person in the neighborhood, the biggest bully in the neighborhood, respected him. You know what I'm saying? The biggest bully in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, respected Mr. Nick, respects Mr. Nick. I was just thinking about Mr. Nick just now in my car. Like, damn, I ain't see this dude in a minute because, I don't live in Harlem no more. My kids don't live in Harlem no more. So it's really no reason for me to go to Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm going to get something to eat or chill, a couple of my brothers, my good brothers up there, we go to a lounge or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Mr. Nick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never really had a long conversation with him. No, I never had, at all. You know what I'm saying? But brothers like that, they don't forget a face. They don't forget a face. And these are guys that watch you since you was little, but you didn't even know that. You didn't even know that, B. Word, shout out Mr. Nick, strong arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, all it take is a, hey, how you doing? What's up? What's going? Like, these are people, you know what I'm saying, that watch you. They watch you since you was little. And they respect you. It's like that non-verbal respect or the verbal respect because they greet you when they see you and you greet them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these are the people that the bullies respect. That the bullies are, yo, oh my God, what's good? Yeah, it's open. It's open. Oh, it's not open, pause? All right, cool. Yeah, man. These are the people that the bullies respected. So yeah, shout out to Mr. Nick. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Fat Van. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real Harlem right there, man. You know what I mean? And like I said, these are the kind of people when you see them, like in your spirit, you be like, yeah, I gotta be on my best behavior type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Van used to speak to my moms. How you doing? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? he would see me and my brothers coming there for that haircut. You know what I'm saying? Always look out for us. You know what I'm saying? Supporting black businesses. You know? So that's the Harlem that we need right now. That we need that in every hood. You know what I'm saying? But it's like these OGs, man, some of these OGs, they not doing their job. They're not doing their dean. You know what I'm saying? I know one thing, if I was in Harlem and I was, seeing some of these dudes, there's nothing wrong with taking time out to have a conversation with them or whatever the case is. When I used to shoot the pod and when I used to shoot the podcast in Harlem, I had an episode where I had young cats from my school I never even met before. These cats was like, what was they like? How old is Quay?
It was young. They like shit, you 40 something.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, Quay gotta be like 37 years old, 36 years.
Not even. Like
not
34,
even. Yeah, so we gotta learn how to bridge the gap a little bit better. That's what I do. That's what my brand represents. Big picture. We about bridging the gap, man. I work at a psychiatric hospital, right? And last night, right, I did a favor for 2 cops. You know what I'm saying? Pause. They needed to get out of there because they wanted to go. One of the cops was like, yo, man, I got a baby shower. And these are white cops. You know what I'm saying? One of them was Arab. You know what I mean? And they was like, yo, the white cop was like, yo, I got a baby shower. You know what I'm saying? My wife, you know what I mean? We doing it on Sunday, and it's a chance that I might be, you know what I'm saying, here for the next 2 days, mandated. So, I worked my magic, you know what I'm saying, and spoke to the doctor, and, you know what I'm saying, and got his paperwork going and got them out of there. You know what I'm saying? Got them out of there. But in the midst of that, we had grown men conversations. You understand what I'm saying? Talking about, you know what I'm saying, how he was raised. You know what I mean? Like, we was all on the same playing field at that point, man. You know what I mean? And one ill thing, so I went downstairs and, I showed the cop where he needed to go. So I drove it was a warrant squad. So drove in the van with him around the corner so he can know where to pick up the patient from or whatever. And as I'm riding with the cop, he's like, yo, I'm like, oh, this shit is equipped. It's the NYPD equipped this minivan. He's like, yeah. So I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean, like certain things about the van or whatever, but like, he's like, yo, like, he's like, he said, yo, Mark, I go to funerals, 1 or 2 funerals every 6 months for somebody that he knows that died, or somebody in the force or whatever that he got to go to. You know what I mean? So I was like, damn, that's crazy, B. Like, these dudes really don't know when it's their time to go. You know what I mean? So you really got to live your life every day like it's your last. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just try to be the best you can. You know what I mean? Moreover, you know what I mean? Like, being able to, like, I know a lot of people out there, they against cops, NYPD, or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? But when you put in situations and you working with these people, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like Diddy said, the gloves come off. You know what I'm saying? But in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You know, in a positive way. You know what I mean? Because it's like we having a conversation. We talking about family. You know what I'm saying? We talking about, and the ill part about it though is, those cops, they was like, yo, I'm doing 20 and I'm out. Like, they was like, I'm doing 20 and I'm out. These niggas was not like, oh, I'm going to stay and do. You know, the Arab guy said he probably going to stay for an extra 5 or whatever the case is, you know, because you want to make sure your pension is lined up right and try to get whatever money you can or whatever. You know what I mean? But, like, they was like, nah, they was like, yo, 20 and I'm done, B. I'm done. You feel me? But, yeah, man, yo, like I said, man, shout out to Mr. Nick, you know what I mean? And every Mr. Nick out there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to every fat van out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to every Von Zip out there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, people might judge you or whatever the case is, but like, it's all about having a good heart. You know what I'm saying? It's all about having a good heart at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And shout out to every young brother, you know what I'm saying, who who saw through whatever the Von Zips or the Vans were doing. You know what I'm saying? And saw something positive in those individuals. Because that's what it's about. We gotta start seeing the positives in people and stop worrying about the negatives. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it's about, B. That's what it's about. I'm about to jump off this joint. Like I said, I want y'all to subscribe, and I'm gonna watch the first 2 episodes of the Diddy documentary again. All right. I saw the last 2 episodes again today. You know what I mean? It was deep. It was deep, but I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna watch it all over again. I'm gonna take notes. And I'm gonna come back to y'all within the next 3 days. You know what I mean? And we gonna rap about it. You know what I'm saying? But watch that interview I did with Mark Curry. Shout out to the most intelligent man on the planet, the white man and white. Listen, we not doing that. We not doing that. We not doing that white man, white God stuff. We not doing that. All right. But yeah. See now, when people say stuff like that, that's what keeps me on here, and I'm not trying to do that right now. Not trying to do that right now. It's crazy you say that. I got a young lady at my job, right? She said it's a word, a term, whatever you want to call it. She's mixed with Jewish, Black, Middle Eastern, something. She's like all of that. And you know what came out of her mouth? She said the black man. What am I looking for? She said the black man is like the original. The original man. To hear that coming out of a white woman's mouth was all I needed to hear. Whatever doubt in my mind that I had about a black man being the original man, because you know, when we say that as being a black man, you know, sometimes we might sound biased because we black. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna bring her on my podcast one day too. And I'm gonna have and I want you, whatever your name is who just said that, you gonna see her say, you gonna hear that white woman say, that Jewish white woman say, black man is the original man. Every person, every human being has a bit of black in them. And then I want to see what you got to say about that.
I say the same thing.
He gonna, yeah, because you know he's already conditioned.
His brain is rotten.
Yeah,
already.
yeah, it's rotten. He done sold his soul. If he done got a soul, he probably don't got a soul.
Bro, he up here trolling. Have a good night.
Big troll. But I support. Thank you for watching this, because you know what? You might not get what we saying right now, but one day you might get it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just glad I was able to give you that information. You're welcome.
His wife's gonna get fucked.
You're welcome.
By a big black king.
Yeah, that's all you see on social media now. You know what I'm saying? You see them little jokey videos with the white man and the white woman having a baby, and the baby come out black. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, and that was just a joke. But it's like, don't mess with the culture like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess with God like that. Don't mess with anything like that, because you don't know how it might come back at you to hit you, man. You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. But I'm gonna bring her on here. So because I did not take that serious until I heard her say that, and this was like 2 days ago. You understand what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm gonna watch the Diddy Netflix joint again. I'm gonna have some notes, because there was a lot of things on there that wasn't even spoken, nobody even spoke about it. Everybody's so focused on what was true, what was not true, and all this other kind of stuff, or whatever the case is. But when I come with trolls are good. Yeah, trolls are good. I love my trolls, man.
Get them watch hours up.
Yeah, troll gang, man. You know what I'm saying? Troll gang. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you know what I mean? Trolls can learn too. You know? But yeah, go watch that Mark Curry interview that I did on the channel. It's up already. It's up, and that interview is really good. I listened to it again. Mark, he was talking about J-Lo, how when Diddy was messing with J-Lo, how he had, like, what that was about. You know what I'm saying? He spoke about how Diddy was trying to sign Pac. You know what I'm saying? And Pac wasn't trying to get down with Bad Boy. We spoke about, I think briefly, Roger Bonds. He was in the chat You know what I mean? You know, that's Puffy's bodyguard from when, you know, back in the days or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, that interview was really good. I think I outdid myself in that interview. I think I really did. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want y'all to stay tuned for the work that's coming up, man. Things I got coming up or whatever that's going down. You know, this is too easy, though. Y'all know this is too easy for me. Y'all know I'll be on here until fucking tomorrow morning or something like that. And you know what I mean? But this is my passion. This is what I do. All right? So I want y'all to just stay positive, you know, and just keep that love flowing. Keep that love flowing. All right? Y'all be easy.